In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a camping or hiking stove from some aluminum cans. The cans shown here are from some mineral water, but you can also use Red Bull cans as well. Using a coarse scrubbing pad, remove the paint from the bottom of one can. This is purely for aesthetics and is optional. Do this with an unopened can as the pressure keeps the can from crushing. Take a sharp utility knife and cut the bottom out of the two remaining cans. Score around the bottom concave seam of one of the cans. Go slowly, you do not want to cut all the way through. Just deep enough to make the aluminum thinner at the seam. Keep scoring a few turns. Once you have a deep score in the seam, push the bottom into the can. Using a marker, mark each of the cans all the way around at these lengths. 45 millimeters for the can that has the paint removed, the second can at 32 millimeters, and the third can at 8 millimeters. The 32 and 8 millimeter cans have the bottoms removed, and the 45 millimeter can is intact. Using a utility knife, cut around the 32 millimeter can. Then use some scissors and follow and cut around the line that was drawn earlier. Using a fine tip marker, mark 16 equally spaced lines around the can. They don't have to be exact. A good way to do this is by doing 4 quadrants at a time and then marking between each of those lines and then again. This is going to be the inside wall of the stove. Using a file with an edge or similar object with a sharp edge, crease each mark by pushing on the file against the can. You should end up with something that looks like this. Using a pair of scissors, cut 1/4-inch slits at the end of the can on each of the creases. Bend all the cuts inward. Next, take the can with the 8 millimeter mark and cut it out. You will be left with a small ring. Using a 1/32 or 0.7 millimeter or 0.8 millimeter drill bit, drill 8 holes around the ring. You may need to experiment with smaller or larger bits depending on the cans you use. This is the burner ring. Take the final can, which will be the outside of the stove, and cut it out like the previous 2 cans. Using the top of the discarded cans, push it down into the opening. Be careful, as the discarded can is sharp. You can always use an uncut can as well. This is to open up the top of the can to make the assembly of the stove easier in the next step. To assemble the stove, take the inside of the stove and insert it into the outside can. Don't force it, just work each side down at a time. Using the top of the can again, push the inside wall down so it is evenly seated. It should sit nicely in the can now. Using the burner ring, insert it into the body of the stove on top of the inside wall. You want a good seal between the inside wall and the burner ring, so again, use the top of the can to push down on the inside wall and burner ring. If done correctly, there should be a lip that is above the burner ring. Fold it down over the burner ring, work evenly around the can. Don't try to force all of it down at once. Use the top of a round bolt and burnish the creases down to ensure a tight seal. If you have done everything correctly, the stove should have a nice seal where the burner ring meets the wall and the lip should be folded over tightly. This is important as it allows the stove to build pressure when it is lit. If the inside wall is bulged inward, gently push the wall back out. You want to have a nice even seal at the bottom where the slots were cut earlier. The stove is now finished. Time to test burn it. For fuel, you can use denatured alcohol or even rubbing alcohol as long as there's not too much water in it. Here I am using methyl hydrate. Using a long barbecue lighter, light the stove. It will take a few seconds for the stove to reach operating temperature and build pressure. The jets will start producing a nice strong flame. With approximately 30 milliliters of fuel, the stove burns for over 10 minutes. Here I will boil a cup of water. This is a stand made from a coat hanger and a metal container from the dollar store. After about 2.5 minutes, the water started boiling. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos.